What's up everyone and welcome to a mod overview on Tinker's Construct. So Tinker's Construct is a widely used mod, quite common in a lot of FTB packs, and what it does is allows you to make custom tools, weapons, and allow you to modify them, create them with a bunch of different parts and different materials, and it's quite in depth, so let's get right into it. So first of all, when you spawn, you'll usually spawn with the materials in U Volume 1. So if you do, be sure to check it out. It'll give you, a bit of information on how to get started, on how to make some of these things I'm going to show you here in just a second, and a few more things that will be covered in part 2. So this is a kind of big mod, so it's going to probably be at least 2 parts. Part 1 will be just how to use the mod, and part 2 will be a more in-depth coverage of, the materials, the world gen, blocks and items, everything like that. So, for starters on how to use the mod, first thing you want to do is you make some of these tables, and for that you're going to need blank patterns. So blank patterns can be made with just sticks and wood pretty easily. Yeah. So you make these blank patterns and you make yourself a stencil table, which is one on top of a wood plank, a part builder, which is on top of just a log, a chest, which is on part of a chest, on top of a chest, then tool station, which is on top of a crafting station. Crafting station is just a crafting table in your just recrafted. So let's put these down, and one thing you want to try to make sure you do is put the pattern chest next to the part builder. The part builder can access the pattern chest right next to it, so it's going to be very convenient for whenever you have all these stencils and casts. I'll get to the tool forge here in just a second, but what you're going to do now is you're going to take these blank patterns, place them in your stencil table, and you can see all of the options for the pieces of tools and weapons that you can make. So what you want to do is in your tool station, you want to find out what you want to make. So you say, hey, I want to make a broadsword. So you'll see that you need a sword blade, a wide guard, and a handle. So there are 2 kinds of handles. So if it's in the tool station, it's typically the tool rod. So keep that in mind. So you're gonna want to get the tool rod, the wide guard, and the sword blade. Boom. There you go. So then you have these patterns, and you're going to take them into the part builder, and we will just get ourselves some cobblestone. That sounds good for now. Obviously you can use different materials. In fact, let's get some wood as well, just to show you. So in the part builder, what you'll do is you'll place your pattern in, and you can say, hey, I want to make my tool rod out of wood. And you'll see it has a material cost of 0.5. So what that means is I can put a wood plank in, and it will give me the tool rod and then a leftover half, which defaults to a stick. So you can keep that in mind. So now we have a tool rod, and I want to make my wide guard. Let's make that one out of cobblestone. Once again, half the cost, so you'll get a stone shard, which is half a piece of cobblestone pretty much, and then your wide guard. Then for the blade, obviously there are also 2 slots that you can work with here. It's cost 1, so 1 cobblestone will get us the piece that we want. And then, like I said, since the pattern chest is right here, you can just toss your stencils right into the pattern chest and it'll be good to go. So then, if you see, they're right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these parts over to the tool station, and you're going to just you're going to click the pattern that you want first of all, and that will show you, which way you lay them out. All you got to do is place them in, and you'll see it makes a stone broadsword. Then up here you can name it, so you can name it this sword. Name. It has a pretty long list that you can name them, so a lot of room to work with there. And all you gotta do is pull it out, and you make yourself your first weapon. So this, it's a sword. If you hold shift, you can see the repair material. So these weapons do not break. If they do run out of durability, you just throw them into the tool station, place them here, and put the repair material. And if it was damaged, it would be able to be repaired. We have a good partner right here. Okay, my sword's a little bit damaged now, so hopefully it'll let me do this. If I place it here, and I place the stone there, look, you can see that will repair it. Perfect. So that just repaired my sword. Thank you, Mr. Cow. Alright, so that's how you make quick weapon, or like a quick bit of, a quick weapon or tool if you want to. You have a few options here, but you can take it one step further. And with that, you're going to need a smeltery. So if you take this book, put in the craft table, you'll get Materials in U Volume 2, which can tell you about your tools and your modifiers. I don't want to get into modifiers too much, but pretty much what you can do is you place them into, actually we'll get into modifiers this time. So you place it in here, and just like I repaired it, you'd place the item that you, or the modifier that you want in, and you'd add it to it. So this will tell you about all the tools here, and the materials. Like they'll tell you the full tool durability. So obviously more durability depending on the tool or the type of material used. Then it has a handle modifier, so the handle of the tool or weapon determines a lot of the durability. So 1.3 times for iron. So if you have iron, you're going to have obviously a lot more durability than if you use stone, which is 0.5. There's a few other materials such as cactus that give a interesting trait. So there's a material trait down here, and I mean there's a whole bunch of different ones. I can run through them real fast. Stonebound, what it will do is it will make your tool break blocks faster for the less, depending on how much durability you have. So the less durability, the faster it mines. Jagged is similar to that in that it does more damage based on the less durability you have. Then the reinforced, your tool has a chance to not take damage, so 10% chance per reinforced level, so 10% chance whenever you break a block to not take damage. Reinforced, stonebound. Slimy, I don't think slimy actually does anything. I could be wrong, don't quote me. Raidable gives you an extra modifier, so as you add a modifier on, it will take up modifiers. So if you look in here, you'll see that we have 3 modifiers remaining. So if I wanted to add some lapis to it, let's add a bit of lapis, and we want some quartz, and let's get a necrotic bone. So as you see, we have 3 modifiers. If I put a piece of lapis on, that will, you can see it adds a little bit of blue there. And lapis correlates to luck, which we'll get into. So as you put more and more lapis on, you'll start to get looting 1, looting 2, looting 3. Lapis itself only takes up 1 modifier, but I mean, as you put more and more on, it will progress. So now we have 2 modifiers remaining. Now if we did quartz, quartz is sharpness, so you can see my damage even goes up just a little bit, just from that. So 72 would be the first tier. After that, you can do another tier, but it will take up another modifier. Necrotic bone, which is another item from Tinkers, which we'll talk about probably in the next episode. But this will give you lifesteal, so you'll gain health whenever you do damage. So now we're out of modifiers. There are ways to get more modifiers, which I believe are covered in here. Let me continue through this. Stonebound, obviously, same thing. Reinforced, tasty. I think it make enemies drop food. It's kind of just like a joke weapon. All right, so here's some of the modifiers. If you put diamond on, you'll get an extra 500 durability. So that's a flat rate. An emerald will give you an extra 50% more durability. So if you have, greater than 1,000 durability, you want to use an emerald rather than a diamond. And if you're going to use both, make sure you use the diamond first, because then you'll get an extra 250. Redstone speed. Speed on a sword won't do anything. It only works for anything that mines. Also, by the way, stonebound and jagged, you don't want them on the counterpart. So you don't want stonebound on a sword, because it will actually make you do less damage. You don't want jagged on a tool, because it will make you mine slower. There's moss, which is auto repair. Moss can be made with mossy cobblestone in a 3x3. So that'll just make an auto repair. It does repair a little bit faster in the sun, and that has multiple levels that you can use. So everybody know, maybe not anymore. So single use, so you can only use it once, I guess. It used to be multiple. Then there's auto smelt, which is a lava crystal. It has looks like lava buckets, one of the charges, and some blaze rods to make one of these. I think, yeah, right here. Yeah, there's the mossy as well, and that will make it mine or smelt any blocks that you mine. So if you mine a piece of iron ore, it will smelt straight into iron ingots. There's some of the craftings, and like I said, lapis is luck, looting, or fortune, depending on what it is. Quartz is damage, there's a sharpness, fiery. So lava crystal would work just the same as this. I think fiery is a little bit better because you can make the duration even longer, depending on how much you have. Necrotic I talked about. They drop from wither skeletons, and it will give you lifesteal. Silky gives you silk touch, which is a silky jewel, which I think I'll show you here in a second. Yeah. So you make 4 of those, which is, you can either use gold or aluminum brass. We'll get into aluminum brass here in a second. Then you can do reinforce, so you can keep doing reinforce, so you can make your tool take less and less damage each time. Knockback with a piston. Beheading, so you can keep stacking beheading, so you can eventually get a a cleaver probably that can do 100% chance to behead. Band of Arthropods, Smite, so you can customize these as much as you want. That's how you get the consecrated soil. Then if you have thermal expansion, you can turn it into a charge tool. So you put a capacitor on it, and you must have 1/1000th of the charge in durability. So if you have 400 durability, you can do the 4000. Yeah, no, the harden, whatever that one holds, 400,000 RF. You can also use the leadstone. It works the same exact way. Then to get additional modifiers, as I was talking about, the first one you get by adding a block of gold and a diamond. That will give you one extra modifier. You can only use there's 3 of them. You can only use these once. So that's how you get your first one. And then you can use a notch apple and a diamond block to get another one. And the third one is by a nether star. You can only use it, like I said, you can only use those once per tool, each time. So 3 additional modifiers that you can get for each tool. There is a creative way to do it in case you wanted to do that. All right, so that's modifiers. Let's switch back to day. All right, so that's a lot of modifiers that you can do, but let's talk about more about the materials that you can use. So this obviously is not that great of a sword, only 6 attack damage, could be a lot better. So let's look into what we can do to get a much stronger version. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna dig out a little bit of room here. You don't have to do it this way. You can build this in multiple different ways, but for demonstrations, this is how I'm gonna do it. So you're gonna want to get yourself some seared bricks. Seared bricks are made from a seared brick, 4 of them, which is made from grout, which is a combination of sand, gravel, and clay. So you just gotta go collect some from the ground, and you'll be fine. Start smelting it up. And there are several options of this. Like there's different designs if you want to, but this is the standard one that you'll get whenever you smelt the grout. So this can be anywhere from a 2x2 to I believe a 9x9 internal. So this right here is a 3x3 internal. So I'm just gonna build this out real fast. And this has to be a combination of the seared bricks, smeltery drains, the controller, the tank, and then you're gonna need the casting table, casting basin, and seared faucet. So these can be anywhere as long as they're on the, I believe they don't have to be on the bottom level, but yeah, you'll see. So throw a couple drains here. You don't, like I said, you can do any combination here. So you could just have that. You have to have a controller, you have to have a tank, and you probably should have a drain, or else you can't get anything out of it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break some room down here to put the casting table and the casting basin. There we go. All right, so this is the basic setup. Like I said, this can be 2x2 up to a 9x9 on the inside. And now what this does is it runs off of lava, which, by the way, you can upgrade this book again to get mighty smelting. And this here will tell you a lot more about this entire thing. So you can see this is what you need to get started. Here's some of the alloys that you can make in it, which we'll probably talk about a little more in depth in the next version or next episode. And yeah, that's how it works. I'll be talking to you about this. Here's another one of those blocks, by the way. So if I wanted to get rid of this, and so you see it went off. Whenever you see that the particles go on, that means you know it's built right. If I place that there, it works. So it's just another block that you can use in place. All right, so this here's a smeltery, and it runs off lava. So if I get myself some lava, it can hold 4 buckets, I believe. Yeah, 4 buckets. You can see in Wela up here is telling me. So we'll throw a few buckets in there. That we good. And we also almost forgot the seared faucet, so place that there. All right, so to get started, you're going to want to melt down some materials. The first thing you're probably going to want to melt down is either gold or aluminum brass. Aluminum brass isn't here, so this is one of the alloys we'll talk about right now. Aluminum brass is made from 3 parts aluminum, 1 part copper. So if I get myself some aluminum, we'll get 3. I don't know, 2's good. And some copper. I think I did this backwards. Yeah, so 3 parts aluminum, 1 part copper. Yeah, so that'd be so I did 2 sets of these, 3 and 1, 3 and 1. So what you do is you just toss these on in, and you let them smelt. So this is gonna take a second. So we'll be back here in a moment once these are done smelting. Alright, so as you can see, our aluminum brass is melted up. I also melted down some iron, and you'll see here in just a moment. So, as you saw, I put copper and aluminum in, and it made an alloy of aluminum brass. Depending on what mods you have installed, this can make other alloys as well. So if you have thermal expansion, you can make Invar and Electrum, things like that. So keep that in mind. Alright, so now what you're going to do in order to get this out, so first of all, you're going to want to make a couple things. So the Tool Forge, by the way, is an upgrade version to the Tool Station. So if I can find out real fast, Tool Forge is some blocks of iron, some more seared bricks with the Tool Station. And what this will do is allow you to make some more in-depth tools, better tools, strong tools, and weapons. So I'm going to make a hammer, because that sounds like fun. So we're going to go back to our stencils and get ourselves a hammer head. Go in the part builder, and what we're going to do is we're going to make one out of cobblestone first. So if we make the head out of cobblestone and we place it on the casting table, so you can see casting table here, casting basin. So if we put it on the casting table, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the aluminum brass is on the bottom. That's very important, because whenever you pour out, it'll pull out what's on the bottom. So if you want iron on the bottom, you click it. So you click whatever one you want to be on the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to now pour on top, and that shall make yourself a cast. So that used 1 ingot's worth to make a cast. I should note that you can use gold as well to make a cast. I believe it costs 2 gold though per cast, whereas aluminum brass it only costs 1. So keep that in mind. So now what you're going to do is you're going to place the cast back in without the stone part. And if you want it made out of iron, you put the iron down and you pour. So you may have noticed, I didn't really say, but the hammer has a material cost of 8. So I have 8 iron ingots in there. So you'll see it'll pour all 8 of them out. And that should get me an iron hammerhead. Perfect. So now what I can do is change it to daytime real fast. And then I'm going to get myself the other parts I need. So if you look at hammer, I need a tough rod, which this is the bigger rod, and then 2 plates, 2 of the large plates. So if I get plate and then tough rod, go in part builder, and you can combine metals and non-metal parts. So if I want to make this one out of wood, say I want to make the plates out of cobblestone, I can do that. So I get 2 plates, then I go back to the tool forge, and just like the tool station, all you gotta do is click the thing, click which item you want to make, place your parts in, and you'll see that we can now have an iron hammerhead. So, like I said, depending on the material, the faster it goes. There's way more in depth that it goes. So I will explain that in probably the next one. So, this hammer. Yeah. Alright, so that makes a hammer. Hammers are pretty cool. What they do is they mine in a 3x3. Yeah. So, pretty cool. So I believe that mostly covers it. One last thing. So I have aluminum brass in there. If let me get a faucet real fast. I only grabbed one. Come on. There we go. Faucet. Okay, so what you can do is with the casting basin, if you pour out, this will just pour out a block's worth. So it'll take 9 ingots that are in there, and it'll create into a block. You'll see here it actually fills up pretty nicely. And whenever it's done, you can see it's done. It'll take a second and it will harden, and you'll see you'll have a block. So boom, block of aluminum brass. And if you want to make it ingots, just make it ingots. All right, so I believe that mostly covers it for how to use Tinkers. Like I said, we're going to come back for another episode to get a little more in depth with some of the stuff you can do and a lot of things that happen with Tinkers. So there's a lot of items that we can check out. So be on the lookout for that one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of tutorial, and be on the lookout for the next one. So until then, I will see you guys next time. See you.